The Smogon Champions League is one of the biggest tournaments on Smogon with all its best players. It's a special kind of tournament too. It's what's known as a trophy tournament where if you win, you get a trophy icon and you get put in the Smogon Hall of Fame. There are 10 trophy tournaments in total, like the Smogon Classic, a tournament which tries to find the best Gens 1 through 5 player, or the Smogon Grand Slam, a tournament which tries to find the best player of the lower tiers. Of these 10 trophy tournaments, 3 of them are team tournaments. The Smogon Premier League, the Smogon Champions League, and the World Cup of Pokemon, where you play on a team of players. Trophy tournaments are for the best of the best, and they carry a different level of prestige on the website. You can win as many Mickey Mouse random tournaments as you want, but the trophy tournaments are the ones that actually matter. Now, I've won some big tournaments, but I've never won a trophy tournament. I've come close, I've made the finals of a team tournament before, but I've never crossed the finish line. This year, I'm playing in the Smogon Champions League to take one more shot at getting my first championship. I'm playing on a team called the Technical Machines as their starting NU player. NU is the 4th tier in Smogon's tiering system, home to Pokemon like Goodra and Magneton. Just to illustrate how prestigious these tournaments are, you get a coveted custom avatar just for playing on a team. The season is a round robin of the 10 teams, 1 week per round, and you can change your team each week. Then, the top 4 teams make playoffs. What makes team tournaments like the Champions League so brutal is that every week you're guaranteed to be playing another elite player. Otherwise, they wouldn't even be picked for the league in the first place. The journey's gonna be tough, but every journey begins with one step. In week 1, I'm playing Elias PSY, a rookie who's making his team trophy tournament debut versus me. He got called up to the big leagues for a reason though. He's been tearing up the local NU circuits, getting good placements in ladder and placing well in all the miscellaneous NU tournaments. As of right now, he's number 2 in the NU tournament leaderboard. I know this game is going to be tough. So what's my game plan? I decide to use a hyper offense team. Speed, power, and entry hazards are the fundamentals of Pokemon. If you have those, you can play any matchup. Hyper offense is unique in that you either win quickly or lose quickly. There's no in between. There's no defense. You attack, and then attack some more. Your opponent either handles the storm or they get blown away. But either way, the game is forced into a high-tempo, tactical state, which is exactly how I wanted to play. I built my hyper offense around what I call the Power 3: Heracross, Veluza, and Salazzle. Heracross being NU is honestly a crime, but it's been relegated down because Slitherwing is oftentimes better and is an RU, the 3rd tier. Heracross is the first piece of my team. With Flame Orb Guts to give it an incredible power on top of its base 125 attack, I add moves like Trailblaze and Swords Dance, speed and power. If you give up a Trailblaze, then all of a sudden Heracross outspeeds your team. If you give up a Swords Dance, nothing is going to live that attack from Heracross. And if you give up both, you probably lose the game. Then I added a nasty plot Endure, Salicberry, Salazzle. Speed and power, but also a little surprise factor with Endure Salicberry instead of the more common heavy-duty boots. The tournaments are best of 1, with the rationale being that best of 1s are more exciting, and across the entire team it combines to be a best of 10 anyway, so it's not a big deal. As such, surprise factor is a game changer for any team. Even the smartest person in the world will make incorrect decisions if it's predicated on incorrect information. If you don't expect a Salicberry, which you likely won't, Salazzle can sweep your entire team. Then I added Veluza, who is actually considered to be a terrible Pokemon by the NU pundits. Why use Veluza when you can use Bruxish, who's stronger and faster? The answer is Fillet Away. Fillet Away gives Veluza an explosiveness that Bruxish doesn't have. It's perfect for a hyper-offensive team like mine. One wrong turn and it's over. You've lost to a +2 attack, +2 speed Veluza. With the Terra Dark, my Veluza has a large surface area of moves it can try and get a Fillet Away on. With half my teams, I added a Spikes, Destiny Bond Frostlass. Frostlass is what's known as a suicide lead. You lead the game, get as many hazards as you can, and then try and faint. The reason you do that is for something known as Switch Initiative. By sacrificing a Pokemon, you get to freely go into your next Pokemon and try and set up and cause huge damage. That is how hyper offense works. You have to be comfortable sacrificing a Pokemon just to keep attacking. I'd say the difference between offense and hyper offense is the presence of a suicide lead. Then I added the Regieleki of NU, Jolteon. Regieleki is famous for getting banned with terrestrialization. Jolteon is similar to Regieleki in that it's an electric type who can't ordinarily touch ground type Pokemon. That's where terrestrialization comes in. Jolteon is like a baby Regieleki, and with Thunderbolt, Terra Ice, and Calm Mind, it has the Bolt Beam combo to break a team. Last but not the least, I added a support Pokemon, Scarf Mismagius with Trick and Memento. Trick lets it cripple a defending Pokemon by giving it a Choice Scarf to lock it into one move, and Memento lets it sacrifice itself to lower the stats of a Pokemon. And why would you sacrifice a Pokemon? Because the next Pokemon that comes in can easily set up on a weakened attacker and try and win the game. It's much easier to fillet away with Veluza versus a Pokemon whose attack is cut in half. And that's the team. Get hazards in, attack, sacrifice, attack again, win. That's basically the plan in its entirety, and I head to the match. Looking at their team, that must be like a Scarf Rotom? No, maybe not actually. So like we're looking at the speed controls. For example, Scarf Bruxish is pretty popular, so one of the two is a Scarfer from what I think. Bruxish, Rotom, Colossal, Stealth Rock, Spikes type of thing. Yuxi, I'm thinking maybe it's like a Calm Mind variant. I can't imagine what it could be. I think it's Calm Mind. The battle starts and I evaluate the matchup. My opponent is using a pretty defensive team. There's defensive Pokemon like Umbreon, Colossal, and Yuxi. It's a core built around defense, but with one Scarf Pokemon, Choice Scarf Bruxish. Spike up, okay, Volt. So interesting reveal, they're not Scarf Rotom, but they are Scarf Bruxish. That takes chip damage, and that's valuable chip damage, in fact. Crunch. No proc. Now, we do have the idea. I sacrifice my Frostlass to get one layer of spikes. In a perfect world, I get more, but one is fine too. It's done its job. But the most important part is not the spike, it's the reveal of Choice Scarf Bruxish. It creates what I call a mating net, like checkmate. Bruxish is the only source of speed, so when it tries to outspeed my Pokemon, it can do that, but it comes at a cost. Because Choice Scarf locks you into a move, I can take advantage of that and use the Bruxish as fodder for a setup move. In particular, the Bruxish-Veluza dynamic defines the matchup. If Bruxish ever uses its powerful stab moves like Psychic Fangs or Wave Crash to knock out a Pokemon, then in the next turn I go straight to Veluza, fillet away with the type advantage, and try and sweep the game. +2 Aqua Cutter actually one-hit KOs Bruxish with the spikes damage, which is why I wanted to get it up. Hazards really do define a game. In this game, he used Crunch, so I can't use Veluza yet, but I use something even better. I go to Swords Dance Heracross, who can easily set up on a Crunch. I get the SD off, and then I destroy the Yuxi with a +2 Guts boosted knockoff. Bruxish comes right back in, and it creates the same problem again. Yes, Bruxish can knock out a Pokemon like Heracross, but then what? You give up a setup opportunity because you're choice locked. The key for me is to figure out what Pokemon to sacrifice. Or maybe I don't have to sacrifice anything at all. I planned ahead. When I built my team, I gave Mismagius some defense EVs, 40 to be exact, for exactly these types of situations. I'm gonna go to Mage here. I want to keep Heracross alive. Got it. Okay, perfect. We live that Wave Crash. Now we've put pressure on Bruxish here. Shadow Ball is a knockout. I don't know if they're even thinking about that play. I could Memento as well. Let's Memento. Whatever comes in will have setup ideas on. If they stay in, Memento into Veluza. If they go to a different Pokemon, that's getting Mementoed. It's all good here. They go to Umbreon. Heavy Duty Boots revealed. The EVs to live come in handy. I force Bruxish to switch out instead of sacrificing a Pokemon, and then I sacrifice my Pokemon next turn. The difference now is I'm sacrificing on my terms, and it lets me go to Jolteon to start using Calm Mind. And here is where I reveal my next trick. Remember when I said Jolteon is the Regieleki of NU? That's absolutely true, and it's what people expect. Terra Ice. But when team building, I noticed another Terra type on Jolteon that's really good. Terra Fairy with Substitute. Terra Fairy beats Dragon and Dark, two common types in NU with Pokemon like Goodra and Umbreon, which coincidentally my opponent has both of. Terra Fairy covers those types while still 2-hit KOing most ground type Pokemon after a Calm Mind. Now we go for it. Because they think their Foul Play breaks Substitute and they can keep doing it again and again. There we go. I put that into action. By saving the Terra for the right time, I enter a dominating position. I have a boosted Jolteon with protection from Substitute. And then the game breaks wide open. Let's Terra Blast for damage. They go to Colossal straight. Now they are getting weaker to my Salazzle, which is good. 49. Oh, that's a good para. That's a really good para. That's game winning, in fact. I get the Thunderbolt para into full para, and Colossal gets stopped from using a move like Stone Edge to break my substitute. He has to sacrifice Colossal and then Bruxish just to break my substitute. If the full para didn't happen, then Colossal would have broken substitute, and we enter the same patterns from before, with Bruxish having to be careful about what moves it locks itself into, because I have the Veluza. In any case, that doesn't happen, and Jolteon rips through the team with a Thunderbolt para, and then unexpectedly falls short of knocking out Goodra. But by now, the damage is done. There's only one complication left. My opponent still has their Terrestrialization.
Rotom Frost? I have to think they're going to Terra into something. So I don't need to close combat. I doubt it's Terra Ghost. Terra Ghost is an idea to set up on Blissey. It could be Terra Ghost. Because a lot of special attackers like to run Terra Ghost to set up on Blissey because Seismic Toss can't touch it anymore. That could be an idea. Or do I just Trailblaze and knock off? Yeah. There we go. And finish it off with close combat. That we got lucky there. I wasn't losing, it just the game went from a fight to basically over. But we do get the win for the first week of the Smogon Champions League. I call out the correct Terrestrialization and we win the game. I start the season 1-0, and as a team we go 5-5 to secure a tie for week 1. 8 more weeks left of the regular season and we stay on the hunt for the first championship. If you're interested in this journey, make sure to like and subscribe, because if this video gets a lot of interaction, I know people are interested, and I'll keep going and I'll do a video every week for the tournament. So see you guys next week for week 2.